Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to issue number 15 of the Amazingly Uncanny podcast. I'm here with you as always. We also have Madrid.
How's it going, guys?
And Jesse.
What's going on? Fuck, man. It sounds like you didn't want me here. And Jesse.
Featuring Jesse. Who
bring it up a little bit. So, today's podcast, we're talking about a couple comics that came out this week. Justice League 39 and Multiversity and Grant Morrison's Mastermen. We'll also be talking about some news, and then we're going to give a little recap of amazing Arizona comic convention that we went to last week. Some good shit happening there. But first, let's get into these comics. Which one do you guys want to talk about first? Jesse, you know you're on a podcast where it's audio, right?
Not visual.
Huh? I can't see you.
He pointed at
Jesse
the
is
comic
indicating to Justice League 39, I suppose. So let's start there. This has been this is basically the end of a run that Jeff Johns has been doing. Not hit the end of his run, but at the end of this little story they've been doing called the Amazo Virus. To give a little recap into the origins of the story, basically there's a hit put out on Lex Luthor, who has recently become buddies with the Justice League. A hit that's put out on him by an unknown person, and then a low-level villain named Neutron ends up trying to take up on the contract. In trying to kill him, he releases what's called the Amazo virus, which is based on the old comic book character Amazo. And the virus basically, when it gets into humans, it gives them powers, so metahuman powers, and allows them to, but eventually it ends up killing them. And then along the way, the virus becomes sentient. It starts to have a voice among all the infected, sort of like the Borg kind of. They all kind of talk amongst themselves. And then, what else happens? So then, basically, it also infects metahumans, such as the Flash and Shazam and Cyborg and stuff like that. And it starts to kill them as well. And they've been trying to find a cure for it. And that's basically where this takes, this issue comes in. So what did you guys think of it? There are a couple key things that happen in the issue that we'll talk about a little later, but I want to get people's thoughts on the actual issue first. So what did you guys think?
That was a good ending. I really didn't follow the storyline. It was the only one I read. I was wondering what's going on with Green Lantern, actually. He doesn't appear till like the end.
Yeah, that's one of the major things that happens in the issue. Because Green Lantern has been away from the Justice League for the last 15, 20 or so issues. He's been off with the Green Lantern Corps, dealing with some stuff in outer space and stuff like that. In the meantime, we had the latest Green Lantern, the Arab guy, I can't remember his name. And then Power Ring, Jessica, can't remember her last name either. But we kind of took over that role as Green Lantern. So yeah, he will be returning to the Justice League. They found that at the end of the issue. Just to get over the other real quick ones. Because of the Amazo virus, they also cured it in the issue. But I believe it was a third of the population now has metahuman powers of the infected. So people who were human before now have powers. So that'll probably have ramifications going forward. And also, it was basically the retconning. The patient zero of the virus becomes Amazo, who in previous incarnations was an android, I believe, who could mimic the powers of other superheroes. So it was a retconning of his being into the New 52, which I thought was kind of cool. They brought him out at the end. But anyway, any other thoughts?
I didn't even say mine.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Jesse, any other thoughts? Anybody?
Alex is not liking it today, sir.
I know. What the fuck did I do?
You're born.
That makes sense. I think it was cool. I like the spin. I like a little bit of everything. I see the little drama between Lex Luthor and Wonder Woman. I like that little diversity where they're like, hey, kind of have our little secret talk over here. I help you. Don't forget that. I could dig that. Other than that, I think the story was very engaged, and I was just like, all right, cool. I could see all of this. Like, I dig it. Totally different perspective that normally what you see and what I've seen. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Especially them all against each other. That little spot.
It was interesting to see that. I'm a pretty big Jeff Johns fan. This latest, the Amazo virus storyline, I haven't been a huge fan of. I don't think it's as good as some of his other work, but I thought this was a good ending point. And it brought a lot of other things around. It brings back the Green Lantern, and so it wraps up some stuff nicely. I thought it did well done. About it. All right, so let's move on to Master Men, which was Grant Morrison and Jim Lee's take on the Multiversity. Multiversity has been something that Grant Morrison has been working on last couple of months. It's basically all of the Earths that make up the multiverse that DC has in their universe. And this is Earth 10, where basically the Superman lands in Nazi Germany and during the Hitler's reign, and allows him to win World War II and take over America, and then takes place 60 years later, which would be about now, is when the majority of the story takes place. What did you guys think?
I'm liking it, especially what is like an issue 1, and it's gonna be continuing on. You see him as, is it Uberman?
Overman.
Ovaltine, same shit. But it shows him, like it says, like you're saying, his ship lands. They actually start the panel with Hitler taking a shit, reading a Superman comic book, and he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you disturbing me? I'm taking my shit." It reminds me of Jesse a lot, always pooping. Doesn't like to be disturbed. But then they go from 5 years to, like you said, 60 years, and you see Superman or Uber, whatever the hell his name is. He's starting to regret what he did. He's having some remorse of maybe what we did was wrong because our past is going to come to reap what we sow and stuff. So I think it's a good start.
Jesse?
I loved it all. I loved everything. The illustration.
I was saying you were hating it when you were reading it.
You know what? The more I got into it, I was like, you know what? I think the thing that really involves me when they're like conspiracy theorists or theories out there, and I was just like, what would have happened in history from everything we know, and just being changed. And I was just like, all right, cool. So we got these different type of men trying to fight a different type of fight that we've never seen ever.
Yeah.
And it's right there in front of us. We sit here and we look at our big hero, Superman, being this Uber taxi driver, whatever his name is, and he totally destroyed it. And like, even in the mythology behind Hitler, he was always trying to look for something sacred, something not from this planet, something old school, and they brought that here. I was like, that is cool. It's a technology that he was looking for his whole longevity with the Nazi Party, and now he did it. It was Superman, and that's such a fucking cool thing because how it ties in with so many different stories out in the world about Hitler and his belief in the occult.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I dug it too. I've been reading the Multiversity series that he's done, going over all the different worlds, and this is actually one of my favorite ones. I really dug it. Obviously, starting off with Hitler taking a shit in the first panel is always a good way to start. And Jim Lee, as always, his artistry is amazing. I dig it for a couple reasons. I like the story, but I also liked how it kind of, in that Grant Morrison way, it kind of flipped a little bit of message in there, but very subtly to where it's like the Americans, Superman is calling them terrorists and stuff like that, but they view themselves as freedom fighters. So it's always that little that old saying of one man's freedom fighters, another man's terrorists, stuff like that, depending on what side you're on. So I like that it didn't kind of beat you over the head with a message, but it had that subtle kind of undertone of if you think about it in different perspectives, how different people view the world and stuff like that. I just thought that was kind of interesting. So all in all, I thought it was a good book.
I like the fact how they used Uncle Sam. He was the rebel leader. They're using all his little Uncle Sam wants you to die, Ultraman or Uberman, whatever the hell his name is. And stuff like that. He comes crashing down into Metropolis. It's like their final hit.
Yeah, and then finally what was Watchtower or whatever finally comes down and hits into Metropolis. Yeah, I dug it too. So let's move on to a bit of the news. I know, Jesse, you had something you want to talk about.
Let's talk about Dan Aykroyd and the Ghostbusters revamp. He's actually voiced it this week. They asked him what he thought about all-woman cast, and he pretty much said he's all for it. He believes in a woman empowerment. When you actually watch him, he doesn't seem too excited when he talked about that.
Okay.
And the other theories that are kind of being thrown around is Bill Murray is more than likely going to be on this project.
Really?
Yeah. So that kind of changes.
As far as in acting? Or,
yeah.
So he's actually going to be in the movie?
Yeah, because even Dan Aykroyd said, he's the executive producer on the flick. He's doing what he does, and it can be. But he let in a few other things out there that this might be something that ties in from another world. So it might be a different universe where these girls are fighting for us. Which, when he originally wrote the Ghostbusters video game or whatever, that was literally the story he did for the third part in hell. Because now what happened was the Ghostbusters we know got trapped in hell, and the guys on the outside had to come back to that dimension, take them out. So we see that, and this might tie into something a little bit different than what we think. They've already said it's going to be darker. It's going to be a little bit more serious. It's going to have that comedy feel to it.
Right.
Which, that Paul Feig trying to portray that, I don't know. But it can be done, and if they do it right, they might revamp the franchise in more than just one way.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be, I mean, there's a lot of good funny female actors that are in it. I saw recently that they just added another one, some SNL. I don't watch a lot of SNL these days, but I guess they just added another chick from SNL to be in it. So it looks like it could be really funny. I'm not sure about Dan Aykroyd's involvement. It would be really cool if Bill Murray was in it, especially, in the writing. So that dude is always funny, always hilarious.
Well, behind the original Ghostbusters, that was Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, correct?
I don't know. You're more of a Ghostbusters guy than I am.
Yeah, because that's what I was under the impression. I could be wrong, but it was them that wrote those scripts. And Bill's Bill. He was just a replacement. Right. He wasn't the person they wrote it for. That was John Belushi or whatever.
Yeah.
And, so he came back as Slimer. Right. Which they're going to bring Slimer back for sure.
Oh, they better bring fucking Slimer back.
True that.
Can't have Ghostbusters without Slimer. It's like having sex with no partner. It's just masturbation.
Just another day.
It's only, a little tape to stop the leak.
If you're leaking, you need help.
You know what I mean? I was trying to use plumber references. I'm not good with my hands.
You go with your mouth, though.
Hey, bro, what happens at prom stays at prom.
How many proms you gone to this year?
12.
All right. So, Alex, before we get weirder?
I haven't been to any proms this year.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be good. And, having Dan Aykroyd, you said he's going to, executive produce?
Yeah.
So is he writing it, too?
I think he is, but he's just playing along.
I thought they had a script already written.
Yeah, which they said, but there's so many theories out there. Same thing like they did with the Turtles.
Right.
Turtles was coming out. It was called Foursquare. Nobody knew what the fuck it was. And then, boom, here it is. I think they're going to be doing the same shit. Because it's too high and people are too anticipated. So they can keep that shit secret.
I don't know. Well, yeah, it looks like, could be good. Hopefully it is. Hopefully they do right by this one, because there's going to be a lot of people waiting to see that movie.
There's going to be a lot of fucking chicks that think they have empowerment now. Oh, yeah, we're doing the Ghostbusters.
We're Ghostbusters now.
No, you're not, bitch. Raven's died until they gave you a fucking open door. Calm the fuck down.
You have any stories, Alex?
Yeah.
Besides that hideous display of Jesse.
Jesse's a sexist.
And he's sexy.
Yeah, it's true.
When I'm drunk.
Sexy sexist. Alright,
New name.
What I want to talk about, which happened last week, actually before the con, was the picture that was posted by Ryan Reynolds featuring the Deadpool mask, showcasing the upcoming movie, which shows us that he will, obviously when we had the Wolverine movie, he didn't even appear in the mask. So to see that there's actually a mask in this one is pretty cool. But the thing that I just wanted to talk about goes a little bit farther than that, but it has to do with Deadpool. It's because the last couple of weeks I've been railing against talking about how I'm tired of all the origin stories as far as in making, the new comic book movies. And now at this point it's kind of unneeded. And I thought that posed kind of an interesting problem going into the Deadpool movie, because Deadpool really doesn't have any origin story. You don't really even know who he is. Much like the Joker, like any story that's been told of his past before he went into the Weapon X program is all kind of speculation. There's no real, hard and fast past to him. There's no origin story, as far as the only thing that they have is that he was in the Weapon X program. So I wanted to get you guys' idea of how they'll kind of tackle that. Do you think that they'll try and make one up? Do you think they'll go with, one of the minor stories that he was doing? Or do you think they'll just kind of jump in and he's Deadpool?
He's just Deadpool out of nowhere. Do you know what? They might try to do it the way they did Wolverine, because when they were doing the first Wolverine movie, they didn't have an origin story until they actually made Wolverine Origins, where they show him in Canada. His name was James Howlett.
Yeah.
So they'll probably do that, release a little mini issue series or something like that, the comic book first, so people can just get a hands-on on it.
Yeah.
So they can write it their way instead of, the movie production writing the origin story their way.
I think they're going to just jump in. They're just going to jump in and here's a story, fucking going for it. Because that's pretty much the consciousness of fucking Deadpool.
Yeah.
So I don't see that being too far-fetched at all.
Yeah, I would hope that was. I mean, I think the most they'd probably go, or the most that I would like to see them go back, is just to like his introduction into the Weapons X program and you know, being a predecessor to Wolverine and stuff like that, and maybe give that a little bit of a snippet, but then just kind of leave the rest vague. I just don't want them to try and make up an entire story, you know, before he gets in the suit and stuff like that. Especially with a character who doesn't have a backstory.
I mean, they sort of kind of give him one a little bit with what was the original Wolverine Origins, the movie, where, you know, he's Wade, you know, he's what's his name, son, and all that crap. So maybe let's go off of that.
Could be.
Yeah. We already got the whole thing. They already fought Wolverine once, or Wolverine and Sabretooth, so got his head chopped off, which in the storyline in the comics, I remember.
They would have to unsew his mouth for that movie to be any good.
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe you know,
I really hope they don't go at all off of that. And I don't think they will, because, I mean, while that movie did make a shit ton of money, it's widely seen as being a fucking piece of shit that it is. So
yeah.
I don't think that a lot of people want to see that version of Deadpool, especially since it was so horrendous. So we'll see how that goes. You guys want to get into the con?
Did you have something to say, Serge?
Serge was talking about some weird shit about Arrow.
Well, nobody else here has watched Arrow, so...
Fuck you, Serge.
Apparently just going to stare at us.
All right, let's go for the con. Alex, what do you think about the cons?
Well, you are a master strategist. Why don't you give us kind of an overview of what happened?
All right, so we went to the Amazing Arizona Con 2015 this past weekend. We did a lot of different interviews. We saw a little bit of different art. We saw a total different consciousness. It had a total different vibe from any other con we've been to. It had a really good feel and a really good momentum.
Yeah.
Like, we're all smokers in this room. And the simple fact, we didn't really break for smokes throughout the whole day because we were just kind of there like, all right, what's next? Let's keep moving. We talked to a lot of great people, from the up-and-comers to the names that we all know and love, and we'll get to that in a little bit. And we had a great experience, and you can actually see all that at nervoballs.com. We have about 15 videos up. And I found a fucking Asian midget.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of interviews, though, which is commendable. There's a lot of people there.
Did you hear about the Asian midget, though?
I think he was trying to talk over that. How you talk over that, Alex?
She was Asian, beautiful midget artist.
I found
She's an artist?
Yeah, she's an artist.
Oh, I thought you...
Watch our interviews, asshole.
Apparently some of us are too good.
All I need to know about her, I know. She's a midget. That's basically all.
Are you scared?
Of a midget? No, I can kick it.
She's like, it's not a him, it's a beautiful young lady.
I believe I said it.
She's a miniature. She's a miniature princessa, bro.
She is gorgeous. No, honestly, like, her personality really mapped me up. I was looking for a second win. Saw her, boom, it just energized me. Really cool person. Really working out on her stuff. And she takes pop culture and make her own style, whatever influences. And I'm like, that's dope.
I think you were dumbstruck by her, bro. You were blushing and everything. You were like, Serge at the other con flyer.
Hey, things happen, you know what I mean? So I think that was really cool. Madrid, first time actually interviewing some people at a con, so how about you talk a little bit about that?
2 interviews, almost shit at myself, almost cried. But, you know, I got through it. Serge making fun of me, of course. But it was alright.
How was it? I remember one particular one, there was a loud scream in the back.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to slap that broad. She did it twice on purpose because she's trying to fuck up my mojo. But you know what? I held through. I think I didn't watch the interview because I was afraid.
If you watch the interview, your reaction to that scream is priceless.
Because I was a thug. I was a G, right? I just looked at her like, what's up?
You were hiding under a table.
Hey, that's how some thugs and G's do it.
Has a face down. So talk to us a little bit. What was your experience that you felt on that?
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I pretty much blacked out during the whole interview process. Like I said, I was like, in my head, I was just like, yo, you're going to mess this up. The Revolts is going to fire you. They're going to have no more friends. You got to sit alone in the short bus.
Fire. You got to get paid before you can get fired.
You get paid in love, bro. You cannot put value on that, sir. This house is always open to someone, even though they don't want to come.
Crusty the couch.
Crusty.
But I watched the one with Hector Cisneros. You know, we met him before. He's been to some of our events.
He got ratchet at our last
Oh, he
event.
got super ratchet. I thought he was going to get on the table and get naked. But you know what?
He was there.
He was
kept on dancing and getting drunk.
But it was pretty cool. I'd like to do some more coming up with the next cons and everything. You know, get my my little swerve in there, get it going.
So you would be more into that? You would want to talk to more people out there now?
Oh hell yeah! I think I'll do some more interviews next con, especially if Hannigan, whatever the hell, Willow, if she's gonna be at the next con.
If you can't even say her name, you cannot interview her.
Bro, I'll figure it out.
All right, so we got yours. Now let's talk about the big guns happening.
Oh, we got hold on, real quick. Big shout out to Hector Cencisneros, Tucson, Arizona. Check him out.
I apologize, Hector. If you are listening to this podcast, he fucked up your name twice. Hector Ceniceros.
Bro, I'm not Paisa, bro. I can't pronounce that crap.
The second.
Hector, you my dog. I will dance with you to Taboo any day.
Naked.
All right, so now we're going to get to the big stuff, the crazy stuff. So we're going to give a little background story. So this is what happened. About a week ago, we knew Greg Capullo was going to be here, which we knew for a while, but the chances of Alex Bergerson talking to his legend. And, one thing Alex actually said was, I'm down for it. A few days before, he was like, not going to happen, guys. Not going to do it.
Yeah.
Cue Plazo in the background.
Yeah, I get. It happened there too. I get nervous, talking around new people and stuff like that. And so a couple days going into it, I was really nervous about the opportunity that might be able to get, to interview Greg Capullo, who, like I said, is a legend. If you listen to any of the podcasts before, I suck on his fucking artwork really hard. So
That's not it.
Second on something really hard.
no, but I'm a huge fan. I really like his artwork.
What happened with you and Capullo?
During the interview?
Wait. So you did an interview with Greg Capullo, correct?
I did do an interview with Greg Capullo with Jesse. Both of us tag teamed as you.
Oh, you know what? I wasn't shit. Let's get that. Let's get to it. I was just there looking or trying to look pretty. So let's go for this. Talking to one of your legends, already afraid, already amped up. How do you feel? What was going through your head? What was all that?
The day because we'd been there for a while. This was on Saturday. We'd been there for a while. Talking to other people. I had seen the panels. Watched Rob Liefeld's panel. Some other people like that. Had been walking around, got some books stuff like that, and then about 3 o'clock or whatever, we'd actually talked to his wife, talked to Greg Capullo's wife, or Jesse had talked to his wife. So we actually knew we were going to be able to get the interview. We'd met him the day before. I had a picture taken and stuff like that. Didn't really get to talk to him. He looked like he was tired. He'd probably been doing it all day and stuff like that.
Wait. Even when we told him we were scared to talk to him, he was like, "What the fuck you guys scared about?"
Yeah.
He was like, "You guys are good."
Yeah, coolest dude in the world.
Fanboys.
Oh, he was a dope dude, and he's a big dude. FY, when I asked his wife for the interview, I tapped her, and she jumped. Capullo's head just fucking turned quick. I knew at that moment my ass was done. He's a pretty beefy dude, and I guarantee he would have fucked me up 10 ways to Sunday. I would have put up a fight like, Scream or something, but...
Right.
I knew that was going to happen, and boom. She knew what it was. She confirmed it. He just went back to his nice self. But, dude, I swear to God, don't ever piss that dude off.
Yeah.
But, okay, keep going. Let's get back to the Alex adventure.
Anyway, got word that we were actually going to be able to do the interview. And at that point, I really knew that I couldn't. If I didn't do it, I knew I was going to regret it because it was, a huge opportunity to interview somebody that I really enjoyed their artwork and stuff like that and get to talk to them. So I was kind of getting myself psyched up, to actually do it. We had to wait a couple hours for him to do a signing and stuff like that. So I had a long time to think about what I was going to say, think about what I was going to do, and kind of get myself amped up. When it came time to actually do it, I was so fucking nervous. It was the first interview I've ever done, coupled with the fact that, it's somebody who I've idolized for a while. So it was really, really nerve-wracking. My legs were shaking as I was starting to do it. But then got into it, and it was really enjoyable and felt comfortable after a while. After a couple minutes, you start to feel real comfortable, get in the groove of it, and he kind of takes over the interview. He listens to what you ask, and he gives you good answers. I thought his answers were great. Some of our questions like that. So
Well, first thing is your answer would probably be great because apparently he screamed it out too. You touched his sweet spot.
Yeah.
For one of the questions.
For that.
It was a really good question. What was that question, Alex?
Well, it wasn't worded all that great because, like I said, I was nervous and it was, so I kind of stumbled over my words. But the question that I asked, that I wanted to ask, were because one of my favorite parts of Greg Capullo's artistry and how he draws is how he draws the bat when he's not fighting anybody, when he's just kind of talking. And the way he does it is he has really broad shoulders, and the cape goes all the way around him. and then it tapers down to sort of an hourglass without the bottom of the hourglass. It's like it's the way a bat would look hanging upside down, except he's standing upright. And I really like that. I thought the thinking behind that is genius. The way he has him stand, I thought is just perfect. It's one of the best neutral stances that I've seen the Batman have, and that's I guess a part that he actually really likes too, because he likes to, from what he said in the interview, he likes to draw Batman huge. Like if you were trying to take him on in a fight, you would definitely lose because he's got huge neck muscles and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
So the other question: are you willing to do more interviews?
It's a trap.
Yeah. I mean, if it's somebody that I dig, that I know that I can ask interesting questions and stuff like that too, then yeah, I'm willing to do some more. And I think getting my foot, and especially if it's people that I really dig, and I would, like I said, I would regret not being able to do it. Then yeah, I would definitely like to do that. And doing some of the lower people and stuff too. Well, lower people, but like the
Indies, bro. Indies.
yeah,
Up and coming.
Artists and stuff like that would be interesting too, just to kind of get my foot in the door and do more, because it's nervousness going into it, but once you're in it, it feels good.
Are you talking about?
I'm talking about interviewing.
I see some kind of interviews on some of those adult
Is this at like
websites.
those
Shout out.
backcastings? Yeah, it's okay.
We could do those too.
We got Krusty the
Krusty the
Cow.
Cows presents.
So with that, we got Jimmy J just rocking the shit out of there. He did an amazing event. Everybody was happy. It was so cool. People really, really enjoyed themselves. I know we did.
Yeah, I want to talk about that for a second, because like you said, we've been to a lot of cons, so we've been to a few cons, and I dug it a lot more than kind of the Phoenix Con. I mean, the Phoenix Con definitely is bigger, and it has a lot more stars, I guess you would call them. They have,
I would say, a lot more room.
yeah, but but they don't bring a lot of the good panels and stuff like that. I thought from the last one I went to, but they go for a lot more of the movie stars and the actors and stuff like that, and kind of the artists and the comic book people kind of fall by the wayside, I think. Whereas I thought in this con they had a lot of Rob Liefeld was there, Steve McNiven was there, Charles Soule was there. I mean, a lot of artists and a lot of writers who actually do comic books were there. And going back to the Phoenix Con, I don't think there was a whole lot. Chris Claremont was there. There was a lot of names, obviously Greg Capullo and stuff like that. But it just felt, and the smallness kind of felt, you could kind of take it in all in one day and have fun with it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, very relaxing, very welcoming.
I think some of the up-and-comer guys, like we had Jeff Thomas, we had Stephen Oakes, Asta Young. There was a lot of different things out there. I remember when we were talking to Oakes, he had a total different feel to him. Like, it was really out there, and just his art, and he was really cool. He was like, hey, dudes, like, your whole crew, here, take a print.
Yeah.
This is yours. Like, I want you guys to do that. Thanks for the promotions. And it was like, dude, you had some badass art. Like, what did you get, Alex? You got a Wolverine?
Yeah, I picked up. No. That was.
He had
I got
Turtles
the
with
Ninja
Deadpool.
Turtles with Deadpool. Yeah.
It's at my house.
What did you get?
I got Goku getting ready to kick Superman's ass.
Serge?
I got the Wolverine. I got the Wolverine with the mixed with the Vegeta and the Goku.
Okay. I remember I got Predator versus Jason. That was pretty cool, face to face.
Yeah.
But
It had a lot of good prints.
oh yeah, the prints were amazing, and just that attitude. That I think that was a good momentum inside this con. It was about the art, and it was about good vibes, man. Like, and no disrespect to the Phoenix Con. Phoenix Con's what it is, but Phoenix Con's to that big projection of people that it's about money.
Right.
There's finance. This is economics of this guy.
Yeah.
Jimmy J. No, and we talked to him. We've been talking to him back and forth on Twitter, just about us getting in. And he sat there and looked for Serge. He talked to Serge, and everything went great. That was really cool. They really catered to everybody the right way.
Even the artists, especially, they were all humble. Like I didn't get to do some of the interviews I had lined up. We're busy with the other ones. But like everyone was pretty much down to do an interview. Take that time with us.
Yeah, it seems like we got a good portion of interviews from a lot of the artists and people that were there, and it seemed like everybody was willing to give us a little bit of time to do that.
Well, what was crazy is, all right, so I'm over here at Lady Death, right? I got Brian Polito, And Brian Polito starts seeing it and stuff like that, and he wasn't being disrespectful or anything like that. He was really energetic, very happy, but he's all, guys, you should probably hold your boom this way. You should probably hold this. And he's like, I'm not saying that to be mean. I've done this a million times. He's like, but on top of that, I went to school for film. So he literally went from his table and showed our dude, Paul, like, hey, this is how you hold a boom. This would be best for you, and don't let it touch your body.
Right.
He was an amazing interview. You know what I mean? He took over. Like, he literally just shut me down. I was like, all right. It's Brian Polito interviewing Brian Polito. Jesse James came back, so that was really cool.
It's always fun to have Jesse James around.
Oh, yeah, especially with the CGC, totally going in and everything like that, and the new Kickstarter events they're having over there. I think the fucking weirdest, speaking about interviews and Kickstarter, Raven Gregory. That sick, tormented fuck took over.
I did watch that interview. That shit's pretty funny.
Oh, dude.
I was laughing so much during the interview, I had to walk away so no one got my voice and me just cracking up.
Well, I remember...
I went promoting.
You should have seen the reaction of moms walking by.
Oh, yeah. I was
That's what I was
telling
gonna get to
Mom,
right
like,
now.
I was apologizing. Hey, we're nerve balls. It's okay. And they're just like, yeah, I guess that's your thing. Like, I felt like I was in church again getting yelled at by the priest, by the pastor.
I remember he had so much energy when he talked about wasabi coming out of his ass. Pussy.
No, he talked about hot wings coming out of his ass. That he can deal with wasabi.
There you go. He was talking about pussy. We can say fuck. We talked about Black Dynamite, all this weird shit. But that was a crazy interview. And what date is it? We're going to be doing an interview with him.
It's Friday the
27th, I believe, isn't it?
Jesse James. That starts at 6.
6 to midnight.
Midnight.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing his Kickstarter. We're going to go hang out over there. They're going to have a little event. I think it's going to be fun. We're going to be shadowing him.
Which Jesse James location is that going to be?
That will be at 43rd in Peoria.
Okay.
I don't know.
So some of the interviews went really, really cool. Not some of them. I think all of them. Was just different vibes, different personalities. That Jeb Thomas, motherfucker came at it as I'm a rock star. Like, I'm a rock star.
Rock star, baby.
He had Harley Quinn as a girls theme. And it's like, holy fuck, Motley Crue. And he kept on talking about porn stars he wanted to fuck. He kept on saying, Jesse James. And I'm like, there's a porn star out there named Jesse Jane, but there's also a comic book store owner here at the con named Jesse James. He's like, oh, fuck, dude, edit that. I was like, no, not going to happen, bro.
Hey, bro, maybe, you have to start comics somewhere. You can always comic somehow.
He had some really brilliant styles of Batman. He brought different life to it. He did his Valentine things. He's like, my theme, when I come to a con, it's more, it's an actual theme. His theme for this one was a circus act. And when you look at it, you see his vibe, you see his writing illustrated he did was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, like his whole thing, his whole booth was set up as a circus act or something you would see at a circus, and he put it together very well.
So, Jimmy J, Amazing Arizona Con, AACC 2015.
Yeah, definitely look forward to next year's because it was definitely an enjoyable con.
Who knows, Jimmy J, you might give us a panel.
Just putting it out there.
I'm just saying.
Can I recant my earlier statement about doing more interviews? Just thinking about
Something
getting
to be nervous for.
It's every day, buddy.
I only got to talk in front of the cam, but I got to talk in front of the 3 people that'll be there to see us.
Our moms love us, though, and they will pay.
Hey, you think your moms will flash us? not our own moms flashing us, but flashing these.
I was going to say, your mom will flash me for
We'll
sure.
just close our eyes and turn. So it's like when my mom's going to, I'll just close my eyes.
There you go.
And then,
Stop it,
your mom's
you're
doing it.
So do you think they're going to lift their shirts all the way up, or do you think it's just going to be at their
This
waist?
is good at the waist. They're old. Let's not beat around the bush. Give me my juice box and stop stealing my friend your chesticles.
They're for sure going to put it on Facebook. Oh, our sons are broadcasting.
So,
Hey, that was Sergio, Mrs. Lozano.
so my mom tells everybody that we're broadcasting. So when we're over here, she tells everybody in the world, my son and his friends are doing, I don't know what they're doing, but I know they're doing something, and it's broadcasting. And everybody's like, what are they broadcasting? What is that? She's like, I don't know, but they're doing it. I'm proud of them. All of them. And I'm like, Mom, it's podcasting. What's the difference? Never mind.
They're not on drugs, so I'm proud of them. They're doing something.
Some of us aren't on drugs. Madrid.
I'm not on drugs, bro. That's water.
I left my crack at home. I don't know what you're talking
For real. That's an in-house, thing, not an outhouse.
You're in the
You
outhouse.
smell like an outhouse.
So I think that was pretty cool about this whole con. And now we're gonna get ready for another one.
May we have Phoenix Con, which you've pretty much shit on in this episode.
No,
Or at
always
least
not
I
our podcast.
but yeah, we're looking forward to that in May.
Is that May?
Yeah, see, last week of May.
I got called sick that weekend to hear I'm out of the job.
So, Alex, what are you thinking?
I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, looking forward to some new issues next week. Talk about some different stuff.
I think Spider-Gwen comes out next week, doesn't it? It's like the last week of freaking
Something
February.
like that, yeah.
Gotta cop that.
Sweet.
Well, I guess we'll see you then. Till next time, I'm Alex.
Madrid,
Jesse, a.k.a.
don't do it.
Jesse.
With an I.
Whoa. Jesse
All right.
Jane. Jeff Thomas.
Later, guys.
Later, everybody.